Whanganui-a-Tara in Wellington, not in Porirua today, but it's still in Wellington. And we came to Korokoro Dam Loop Track, Belmont Trig via Baked Beans Bend, and just had an awesome opportunity to do a walk and talk with Cameron Holmes. Anybody that doesn't know Cameron, check out his little channel on YouTube, Cameron Holmes, or Layers with Cam, sorry. He did have a lifting and life podcast that he was running before, but just a very genuine, good person. And his sweetheart, Chloe, dropped him off. And where are we? And she's just picked him up and then gone. We went on a walk for probably a little under 3 hours. And the trail and the route was somewhat treacherous in some parts, whereby he hadn't actually walked large parts of that trail that we went on. And it felt like probably to a degree that we were bush bashing a bit. And it didn't look like there was it didn't look like a very well-used track of the part of it that we went on anyway, but it was awesome. We delved into a whole bunch of stuff, which I will look to go back and do some editing. He was kind and generous. He brought in electrolytes because we were talking about electrolytes and stuff. And I think when he interviewed me, so he brought me one of his and Chloe's favorites electrolyte flavors. Electrolyte hydration, lemon and lime flavor. So I've not tried this before. I'll give it a crack. And it was just, aside from having a really good sweat up on this walk and talk with Cam, it was just really good conversation. Like I forgot a lot of times that I was holding the camera. So hopefully I got a lot of the audio. That's probably the main thing. Got some of the footage, obviously. Some of the scenery is pretty nice through the bush. And hopefully some of the sheltering from the bush helps with regards to the audio being better. But anyway, I thought I'd just do this quick live before heading back home. Bunch of editing and stuff to do in the process. And then look to get this video scheduled and up on the channel. And then probably make a whole bunch of clips from it as well. But Layers with Cameron Holmes. Anybody that follows me, it'd be great if you felt like going along, having a look and supporting Cam, even if you just give him a like or a subscribe. He interviews and has interviewed a heck of a lot of people. I just discovered today that I think I was the first guest of his Layers, the rebranding or renaming of his podcast, Layers with Cam. And I think from memory, he said he thinks I was his first for that rebranding of it. But otherwise, his podcast used to be called Lifting and Life. But yeah, really interesting guy, very down to earth, very humble guy, really easy to talk to. And he carries a conversation well, very insightful with a lot of the stuff that he has spoken about. Still young too, like, I think he's young. Mind you, I think I'm young. So people might say, whatever, he's not young, but he's 29 from memory when he was talking about a few things. And I won't delve into all that because I think I'll leave it for the actual video when I finish editing it and then uploading it. But just a really cool person. And his partner, his fiance, Chloe, is awesome as well. She's got some incredible stories, no doubt. And so I'll have the privilege to do a walk and talk with her. And I've already, another lesson learnt. I said to her, I'm sure she'll choose a much better, more nicer route for us to walk on and talk, as opposed to some of the bloody bush bashing trail that we just went on today. But at the end of the day, it was good. It was a good workout. Got a good, I guess, I'd call that a workout and a session in. Good few hours walking and talking, and got very warm and sweaty in the process. So I didn't worry about taking my hoodie off, so t-shirt, hoodie, and then the smock on. I didn't worry about taking any of the layers off, left them on. And we just got to walk in some nice steep parts. Not steep, I suppose, for this area. I think it was only 456 meters elevation in terms of the trig walk that we did. And yeah, it was good. So enough to get the heart rate up at moments. And those are times when I was trying to handball it off to him so that he'd have to do the talking. Did get a bit windy up there, especially at the trig. So paused the recording and just did some filming of the scenery. It is a beautiful spot up there for anybody that hasn't been there. And surprisingly, quite a few people on the trail. A few trail runners, a mountain biker, older people, some younger people, lots of dogs. and it was just a really nice way to start this Saturday. Obviously, we've got the rugby coming up. Oh, actually, sorry. What's that? Is somebody putting in a comment? Hello. My apologies, man, if people have put in, where's the bloody chat thing? Bro, I've been doing lives for how long? You think I'd bloody have an idea of how to bring up the, I still can't see. So I'm using the YouTube one. I don't know if there's a special, hello, whoever looks like some sort of Russian foreign writing and stuff in there. Well, it looks like there's only one person that said anything anyway. So hello back to whoever that is. Where was I? I can't remember where I was in terms of my conversation and thoughts. Oh, sorry, rugby. Rugby's on this weekend. All Blacks versus France. Excited about that. No, I don't have Sky, so I can't watch it. I don't know that it's free to air. So I'll probably be watching somebody's live reaction on YouTube. Or maybe I'll just wait for the highlights. Hoping that the lads, that the ABs get up. Interesting times, the beginning of the Dave Rennie era. And anybody that missed it last time when I went to catch it with a friend of mine in Otaki, I managed to meet and shake, what's his name? Dave Rennie's hand at the BP petrol station in Otaki, because he was having a pie, and I think with his wife as well, I'm guessing. Didn't take a photo. I felt a bit awkward because I didn't want to go and interrupt him while he was in the middle of eating his pie. And, you know, even when that moment came, when he put down his coffees that he had ordered, I think, or a brew anyway from the petrol station, before I could ask, could I get a selfie with him, he had picked up the cups again and, you know, walking back over to his partner. So, yeah, I didn't get a photo. Opportunity missed. I should have just done it, but I didn't. What's this? I'm RU from Israel. I'm RU from Israel. Abu Bakr Ahmed. Abu Bakr Ahmed. No, I'm not from Israel, bros. I'm from New Zealand, Aotearoa. But dual citizenship, New Zealand and Australian. Solly, g'day, bro. Hello to you. Mana wave to you. Thank you for your time and support. So, Abu Bakr Ahmed. No, I'm not from Israel. But feel free to spam away with whatever else you want to ask or say. Probably won't be on here for that much longer anyway. Windows are starting to fog up. That's probably from me yapping away here in the vehicle. But, again, beautiful day. Rugby and All Blacks. Anybody that watches it, what's good, mate? Yeah, everything's good, man. Just had a good walk and talk interview with Cameron Holmes. Good start to the day. It's roughly about 3 hours, just under 3 hours worth of walking and talking and some bush bashing. I said, we were laughing at one stage there, be like, how a retired SAS soldier moves through the bush these days. And then next minute showing me going blinking, toes up, slipping over through the bush in the part of the trail that he took us on. It's quite a hard case. We had a good laugh. I learnt a lot of good things from Cameron, just in terms of some of the experience that he's had. Very articulate, very intelligent, and just a good human being. So what's going on with you, Solly? Hopefully all is well. As always, appreciate your time and support, bro. It is not wasted on me, so thank you very much, as always. And anybody else that spends any time here as well. What's this? If you have any interested in online interviews, I can ask you. Oh, thank you, bro, to put you in touch with his SF contacts. At this stage, Solly, to be honest, they are interesting to me, but I would much rather, I think I just want to figure out how to be able to do these in person. Whether it's a walk and talk or whether it's sitting down. Like if some guys, there's some older generation lads here in NZ that might not be able to do a walk and talk. But hey, if they got a wheelchair, I'm happy to push the wheelchair, strap the camera to the front and hook them up with a microphone, and I can be pushing and asking questions while they respond if they want to do that. I would like to be outdoors and doing a walk and talk. But at this stage, I'll definitely let you know. Long-winded answer, bro, but it's not that I'm not interested. I'm interested in the interviews for sure and the stories. I just want to do them in person. So maybe I can get a sponsorship deal with a travel company and plug their service. It doesn't need to be blanking fancy. It can be a no-frills, low budget. But maybe something like that could happen, which would, take out some of the, not stress, but take out some of the challenge with regards to challenge that I realize as part of trying to do these interviews in person. So Yeah, maybe I could do the same with a hire vehicle company as well and just get a hire vehicle. Hey, will you let me use your hire vehicle to travel in and around NZ to go do these interviews, and I'll plug your vehicle along the way and all that sort of stuff. Who knows? People that are much smarter, got better ideas than me, might have some other suggestions. But thank you very much, Solly, for that offer. What do you got? Your geography makes it difficult, 100% in person with SF guys who you've reacted to. Yep, 100%. Hugh said with a place like London, people usually stop by because it's a significant city. They have plane there anyway. They plan there? Plans. Plans there anyways. Plans there at some point anyways. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and that makes sense. Like, yeah, I think if I get my creative hat on and with the help of people like you and other people, maybe I can come up with something. Maybe it's a case of meeting somebody halfway, or, ideally perfect world. If I'm the one reaching out and wanting to do the interviews with people, which I am, I think it's only right that I either make the effort to go to them, or B, if I had the means, bring them to me. So maybe one day that will happen too. It's just one of those things. Chip away, narrow my focus, get back to doing what it was that I was doing that got me to where I am now. Try to add some value, not only, predominantly through the people that I'm lucky enough to meet with and all the reactions that I do, and then think of the end user, and then just consistently do those three things. And I'm sure eventually, sooner or later, good things will happen. So, exciting times ahead. Challenging times as well. Like, there's going to be a lot of work involved. There is a lot of work involved. Just in terms of doing the editing and stuff alone when doing interviews, the editing alone when doing reactions. But that's what I signed up for. That's all part and parcel of it. And I think as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, which I am, then just crack on and get after it. Don't worry about any of the statistics or analytics. I shouldn't say that. I mean, if people are into analytics and the statistics and stuff of being able to actually track and measure their growth or their success to whatever degree that is for them, or whatever degree they feel successful, then do it. But I have got too many other things to do to worry about going through the analytics and seeing when people drop off a video or seeing when engagement was really high or whatever. Like, I think that stuff will take care of itself. And if I stay true to what it is that I'm doing, how I like to do things, how I communicate, whatever, good, bad, ugly, then yeah, my content will get to wherever it's supposed to get to, if that makes sense. So that's just my take. Brent Tucker flies people to him and pays for hotels, but of course takes money. Well, Brent Tucker is he's got a significant platform, like the Sean Ryans of the world and that sort of thing, and he's probably got other means and things to be able to, resources, maybe sponsorships and stuff, that he's able to do that. And I just think that's awesome, eh? Like, you look at that, Brent Tucker, like what you've just shared, I didn't know that about him. Brent Tucker, former Delta Force operator, just obviously done a phenomenal job in what he was doing. Now he's killing it in a whole nother area, but in a niche and in an area that he's super knowledgeable in, super experienced in, and something that he's passionate about. Whether it's holding people to account from a military perspective that are saying that they've done things that they haven't necessarily done, and or whether he's delving into things that he's just interested about and hearing other people's stories that have got some pretty amazing experiences as well from a military perspective. So there's so many out there, not just SF. Like, former SF operators don't hold the rights to blink and cool stories or cool experiences, etc., from a military context. There are a number of other people in what people might call conventional or regular force military that have got super cool experiences and knowledge to share and pass on. So, I'm here for it in terms of interviewing any of those people, whether they're Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever. There is, if they happen to be spies in that as well, or former spies, like all of that stuff is interesting, at least to me, and obviously to a bunch of people online as well that may not necessarily have any lived experience in a military perspective or first responder take, but have an interest in it. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in that sort of stuff. Brent Tucker, what's this? You ever tried Dixon cider? Santiago 7663. Sorry, bro, I have no idea what you mean, Dixon cider. So I guess from that, me not knowing, I would say no. This is buy Bitcoin, hold it. From Buy Bitcoin, hold it. Lots of laughing faces. What's this? J. Cal and Daz have said their infantry experience was harder than SF time. Interesting. I have heard J. Cal speak about some of his conventional warfare stuff in his Sean Ryan interview. So, yeah, again, like just a perfect example. And some of the stuff that he describes in the Sean Ryan interview, this is J. Cal, that is, some pretty horrendous stuff and hearty stuff that he'd been exposed to before doing selection for 2-2 and going on and serving, doing operations and multiple operations and all that sort of stuff there. So, Daz. Who do you mean by Daz? J. Cal and Daz. Absolute joke of a thing. Santiago. Not sure what absolute joke of a thing. Maybe Santiago is some random person. You ever tried Dixon cider? ? Absolute joke of a thing. Yeah, I don't know, bruz. Yeah. Solly, who do you mean by... Actually, Daz, who am I? It'll probably come to me, but right now I'm gone mind blank in terms of who you're talking about with... Oh, Daz, sorry. Yes, I know who you're talking about now with Daz, bloody hell. Where's my head? Oh, it looks like I don't even need to do anything for the chat. Like it just pops up on here on my phone. Daz, who spoke. Yeah. Sorry, I just clicked Solly. Daz, who do you mean Daz? Yeah, I got you. Sorry, Daz. Bloody hell. Forgetting who you were or who Solly was talking about. But yeah, definitely. Like there's another guy too. Love to catch up with at some stage when the time is right to connect with that fella. Do a bit of a walk and talk. Yeah, there's plenty of people in the UK, in Oz, here in NZ, in the US, like lots of people. Even to the point whereby, if there are, any of the supporters of my channel, I'd be interested to even they might not want to do a walk and talk interview, might not want to be on a video on my channel, which is fine. But to have the opportunity, if I'm in that vicinity, Solly, like it'd be great to connect, bro, and just chew the fat. Meet you in person, have a sit down somewhere and have a kōrero or talk and just pick your brain. You have I don't know your background, if you served in the military at all. Maybe you've told me before, but I can't remember right now. But man, you delve pretty deep into a lot of stuff with regards to your questions, and I think that's cool. But it's also interesting to me, like if you don't have or come from a military background, I'd be interested to know where that comes from. Like why such the interest. You put a lot of time and thought, it seems to me anyway. I don't know, maybe you just whack them into ChatGPT or something and it spits out some questions, but it seems to be some thought put into your questions, at least the ones that I get anyway, and then look to try to respond to. Yeah, defo down. Awesome. I'm a civilian, mate. Cool. Really interesting. Hi, have you ever been into Canada? Sarah Sadik. No, I haven't been to Canada. I would love to go there. Got a guy by the name of Dave Whitten, Canadian Mountie or Canadian Mounted Police. I think that's the name. He does a whole bunch of burpees and training stuff anyway. Shout out Dave Whitten. Appreciate you, bro. I would definitely love to catch up with him in person. I've only spoken with him online, but I haven't been to Canada. Seems like an awesome place from what little I know of it and from what I've seen online. But I'd like to go there. I know a few people that have been there and that have really rated their time there in Canada. Plenty of places I'd love to go. Layers with Cam, there he is. Thanks for the opportunity today, Joe. Lots of fun and lots of slipping over. Yeah, thank you. There he is, peeps. If anybody in the chat at Layers with Cam, check him out. Really awesome guy, and his partner equally. So looking forward to connecting with Cam again later on, but probably connecting with his sweetheart first, Chloe, and doing a walk and talk with her, which I have absolute faith and trust that she will choose a much better location. Or maybe not location, a much better path for us to walk on as opposed to some of the terrain that we went through today. So cheers, Cam. Thanks a bunch, mate. This is Solly. Are you willing to do online interviews with people who want to speak to you? Oh, look at you. Now you're blinking. I know you did Combat Story. Haha. from Layers of Cam, from Cam. I know you did Combat Story. Oh, are you talking about if people want to interview me, Solly? Are you willing to do online interviews with people who want to speak to? Yeah, so people want to. Yeah, I mean, if that's their platform and if that's what they want to do, I would do it. Yeah, like if that's their platform. Like if you're talking about if people want to meet with me, but I'm interviewing them for my channel, obviously I would love to meet with him if somebody wanted to meet with me and have a chat. But again, if I'm doing it for my channel, I'd want to do that in person. But if if somebody wants to interview, like the combat story with Ryan Fugit, if he wanted to interview me for his channel and wanted to do that remotely, then yeah, I'd do it with them if that's something that they wanted to do. If they felt that I could add some value to their channel or whatever, or something positive, at least anyway. I think like with anyone, I would do it, but I'm probably still in that mindset of, there's plenty of other people with far more interesting stories than me, and like I really enjoy hearing those other stories. And I think a lot of my stuff, like you can probably either through my channel, through Q&As that I've done, through when my brother-in-law interviewed me, through the Ryan Fugit interview, and through with Cameron Holmes, Layers with Cam, like people can probably find out all they want to know if they want to know anything about me just through those, So, yeah, like where am I going with that? I just think there's probably more interesting stories out there than sitting down interviewing me. That's my take anyway. But hey, if somebody wants to interview me, if somebody wanted to reach out, say, hey, could I interview you on my channel or whatever? Yeah, I would do that out of, courtesy and respect to them, but also be very humbled by the fact that they would reach out to me and say, hey, would like to interview you. That would be, that'd be very humbling, is all I could say. So long-winded answer again, eh? But yeah, you've got, would you be willing to speak with Andrew Hastie? 100% I'd speak with Andrew Hastie. 100%. I would love to speak with Andrew Hastie. I think he's a twat, by the way, and I don't mind telling him that. If he wanted to speak, I don't know if he would want to. That would probably be one that I'd prefer to do in person, actually. Not because I think it would come to anything physically. Like, I think that would just be silly. Not unless he wanted to glove up and, we had a milling round or sparring round first beforehand. And then whether I got beaten up or whether he got beaten up, and then we sit down and have a talk after, vent some frustration out. Hey, maybe that's another interview idea, whatever. I know there's some guys, what's his name? Mike Chan. Oh, no, not Mike Chan. An Asian guy in the States that goes around, spars with a whole bunch of world champions, a whole bunch of other people, holds his own super well, obviously very talented in stand-up and the ground game. Yeah, maybe maybe it's not really an idea for an interview podcast live sort of thing, but who knows, maybe. Andrew Hastie, yeah, like as much as I don't like the guy, based on what I've seen and how I've seen him blink and bend the knee and flip from one thing to another, in terms of from a political perspective, the way he's, in my opinion, brought into disrepute the SASR and the reputation that they have through backhanded comments that he's made, through my perspective of not having the courage to speak about it when he was in the unit, like just being a ball bag and going into Parliament House and talking about the toxic culture in the unit, blah, blah, blah. Being called as a witness in RS's defamation case when he didn't witness anything. Like I could bang on about this guy for a long period of time. So yeah, I would openly speak to him. I think I would rather do that in person. If he wanted to speak with me online, I would gladly speak with him because I got questions for him, and he'll probably have questions for me. But would that happen? Who knows? Maybe you can sort that, Solly. Maybe you want to plant the seed. Would you be willing to speak with Andrew Hastie? Yes, I would. And other SASR, 100%. I've spoken to some in the past. Anthony Gadeen, Gads. Bloody hell, I can picture their faces, but I can't. Obviously, Nick Caldwell, Harry Moffat. It's one of the other guys. He's bloody got a whiskey brewery place now. I can picture him. He was one of the dog handlers as well. Really awesome guy. Apologies, I forgot your name, bro. Bloody hell, useless of me. But anyway, yep. At least you're honest. Would you chair a debate with Hastie over other SASR? It depends on, I suppose, in terms of would I chair a debate? I don't know if I'd be able to chair it. I'd want to be involved in it. But obviously, if it's things that, and there'd be a lot of stuff that I wasn't involved in during Hastie's time, then yeah, I would chair a debate on that. Like if that came up. Look at you planting all these ideas and seeds, eh? Who knows? Maybe if I talk about, or maybe if I just answer your questions that you're putting in the comments here, maybe something happens. Would Hastie be open to being a part of that? Would you chair a debate, e.g., with Hastie versus other SASR? I would gladly do that if they wanted to do that. Ex-SASR, whether or not they would want to do that. I think there's a level of depending on, it would probably depend on what the topic is for them. For me, I could cheer whatever it was going to be, I think. The hardest part will probably be me trying to stay out of the debate. But in terms of where am I going with it, the nature of those types of units, whether it's UK, whether it's Australia, whether it's NZ, whether it's US, I don't know that that's a space where the regiment, current serving or former members or otherwise, would want to lean into, just because it probably doesn't go very well towards representing the unit in any sort of positive way. I guess, maybe even a lot of my comments, and that's enough, maybe a lot of my comments don't paint the regiment or the unit in a very positive light. Like, that's not my intent if that is how I come across. But it's not intentional in terms of that. Like I've shared multiple times, I just have a lot of admiration, respect. I look back on the time when I wasn't didn't have such a big ego, when I was enjoying the job, until such time as my ego got the better of me and refused to do a simple 6 to 8 week course because I felt like I felt like that was beneath me. I felt like I've been on operations now. I just want to prepare for the next job, So the arrogance of me doing that, trying to share that lesson in the hopes that anybody that goes to a unit like that, whether it's, again, Australia, New Zealand, UK, wherever, that they go, oh yeah, I remember this guy who spoke about when he was a real twat, when he acted like a ball bag on a simple course that he could have just blitzed and then just gone back to work. But he didn't. He had to pack the sad, had a sook, and bloody said, "No, bugger this, I don't want to do this course." So hopefully those lessons, and reflecting and just sharing that as openly and honestly as I can, with, I've gotten past that now. Like, I don't carry any regret with that, but there was some regret when I was first leaning into that space to talk about what a twat I was at that time. And so, but the positive being that hopefully it helps somebody else on that path. But yeah, I think anyway, what's this, moderate like Joe Rogan has done? I would probably have to watch some of that stuff where Joe Rogan moderates. Like, Joe Rogan's obviously a hyper skilled communicator, intelligent, delves into a whole bunch of stuff, and has got the runs on the board to back up his ability. Like, if you're talking about moderating like Joe Rogan, I doubt I would be moderating like Joe Rogan. But yeah, it would probably be nice to get to a stage like that if I could, Solly, to be honest. What's this? How strict is Australian SAS with PNGing ex-members? Loads of UKSF have been PNG just for saying they were ex-SF. What's PNG'd again? I have heard that term. I can't think of it right now. PNG'ing. Is that persona non grata thing? You had any problems with the stuff you've said publicly? You had any problems with the stuff? Do you mean, have I had any problems with people coming to me and telling me to shut my mouth? If that's what you mean, no, I haven't. Not that I'm aware of. Unless there's been comments that have slipped through the hinaki or through my eyes at one stage and ended up in my comments in some videos telling me to shut my mouth. But if that's what you mean, had any problems with the stuff? Yeah, persona non grata. Have you had any problems with the stuff you've said publicly? If you mean people coming to me and telling me or questioning me on it, not that I'm aware of anyway, bro. If you mean me, have I got any problems with stuff that I've shared publicly? I can't think of any, like, immediately, like right off the top of my head. Like, my mind doesn't go to anywhere in an instant and go, oh, I wish I hadn't have said that. Or, oh, I wish I could take that back. I mean, if there was, I would, logic would probably suggest that I would just go back to wherever that video is and delete it. But I can't think of anything like. So depending on where you're coming from with your question, have I got any problems? I can't think of anything personally of what I've said. Other people might have a problem with what I've said publicly. So, I can't disregard that. But I haven't received anything either from people saying, bro, I think you need to blink and shut your mouth on whatever. Who knows? Time will tell, bro. It's still early days. Plenty of time for people to come on here on a live or on a video and say, I think you should just be quiet. And then, what will happen? That'll just likely make me go even more. Banned from formal events, etc., like visiting their old unit. Oh, okay. No, not. I haven't personally. I haven't been banned from anything that I know of. There was the 20-year anniversary over in Australia, the regiment, which I was going to that. Had my name down and everything. Was in contact with the old headquarters people and stuff there that were organising and coordinating. Sadly, I didn't end up being able to get over there in the end. Had some stuff come up, which was disappointing for me. But as far as I know, it was all go, and I haven't been banned. So hopefully, I don't get banned. Yeah, but if I do, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, if I was ever banned from going to that, it's I'm here in NZ anyway, so it's not like, even when I was in Perth and when I was out of the unit, it's not like I was going in and out of the unit daily or weekly or anything like that. If anything, I was driving past the unit on my way to work at the gym, at the mill gym, and then driving past it on my way home, but I was never really going into it. There were a couple of times I went in. Guys had some shooting on the range and went in, and I was able to take some friends. I spoke with some of my mates that were there. They were doing some shooting on the range, and I was like, oh, hey, can I come in? Some of my mates where I was living in Perth at the time, I don't know that they had, well, they definitely wouldn't have fired any of those types of weapons. So I hit up my mates and said, hey, bro, I said, yeah, bro, I'll come in. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Like I've said, I never really grew up with guns or anything like that. If shooting came around, and when shooting was a part of my job, yeah, I dialed into that so I could get as competent as I could. But it's never been something that I've missed. Like, if there's shooting to be done, or if somebody's got somewhere to go out and do some shooting, yeah, I'll get on the weapon and have a shoot and just see how useless I've gotten over time, or maybe try and test in that competitive nature and still see how accurate I can be, So, but it's never been something that has stayed with me and gone, oh man, I've got to get on the range, I've got to do lots of shooting, or I feel like I'm getting rusty with this. I know I'm rusty as hell with everything, like with navigation, with shooting, probably with basic fieldcraft, all that sort of thing. So, but you step back into it and lean into it, and spend any time back doing those things, I think you can pick that stuff back up if the focus and the attention and the time spent on it is there, as with anything. Yeah, so thankfully, as far as I'm aware, Solly, as far as I know, I haven't been banned from anything. I haven't been banned from battalion, so I went there for the battalion birthday. Was that last year? I think it was last year, and that was cool to be there. My old infantry unit here in Palmerston North. It was good to be there. Camp is definitely different to what it was when I was there. So many more buildings and stuff there. Sad to see that the barracks are still pretty much the same. Sad to see that my old Victor Company barracks are not the Victor Company barracks these days. It used to be Hinton Barracks, was Victor Company barracks. These days it's Travis Barracks. Travis Barracks was the old Alpha Company barracks during my time, and those barracks still look as hideous as what they were when I wasn't living in them, but my mates were in them in Alpha Company. So sorry to my mates there in Alpha Company, but I thought your fellas' barracks were ugly. Even though they look the same externally to ours, but internally, man, they just seem dark and dingy, and they still look like that today. So I didn't go over to Hinton Barracks because obviously I don't think it's one of the battalion barracks anymore. But I looked at it and was like, oh man, yeah. I was tempted to go over and have a walk in there, but for me, Hinton Barracks just seemed like a lot better. And it probably helped the fact that when I first got to battalion, we were put in Forsyth Barracks because Hinton Barracks were being renovated. So there were some renovations getting done in there. So by the time I went into Hinton Barracks, I've only ever known it as looking quite nice, or I thought it looked nice anyway, as opposed to Forsyth Barracks, the transitional barracks, the triple story one. But yeah, Victor Company's in Travis Barracks now, which, yeah, I think those barracks look ugly. I thought they looked ugly then. They still look ugly now. So no disrespect to the lads that are there in Victor Company and Travis Barracks, but man, your fellas barracks need some work, man. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, not banned as far as I know, bro, and hopefully it stays being the case. Oh, sorry, sorry, I missed this one. Just a dude. Would you consider having a discussion with Captain John Price? I don't know who Captain John Price is, but I'm sure if I search him up, he must be somebody of significance. I would consider interviewing, like, if there's people that follow me or have put comments and stuff in here. If you've got suggestions of people that you'd like me to interview, I'm open to interviewing any one of those people. Obviously, I would do some research and stuff myself, do some due diligence and have a little look on who is Captain John Price, get a bit of an understanding of, what his background is and what he's done, etc., so that I can be better prepared for, if conducting an interview or if having the privilege to conduct an interview. That's if he wanted to spend any time with me. Like I said, I don't know who the guy is. Some people might hear me say that and go, that's blasphemy, Joe. How can you not know who Captain John Price is? Yeah, and that may very well be the case. So my apologies in advance if he is super well known across the interwebs. But I think at the same time, there's so many people out there. Like there'll be people out there that have got hundreds of thousands and dare I say millions of followers who I wouldn't have a clue who they are, So just because somebody's in the military, it's like that question that we would get often, New Zealand, Australian Army. You meet somebody and they hear that you're in the army. They go, oh, you're in the army. Do you know so-and-so? Like, I know New Zealand Army isn't very big, but come on, bruz. Like, we may not be very big, but to think that I might know somebody that you know or your mate or your cousin is probably, I don't know what the percentages are, but it's probably next to none. So yeah, where was I going with that? Maybe similar to this, Captain John Price. I'm sure he's somebody who's done something pretty significant or things significant. I just don't know who he is at this time. I think he's joking. He's a Call of Duty character. Oh, he got me, mate. I have no idea. See, video games, gaming, don't watch any of that, bruz. I did receive a request. Oh, no, not so much a request. Feedback from somebody saying maybe for some of my content, I could do reactions to the tactics used on video games like Call of Duty. I have not watched Call of Duty, or I've not watched any Call of Duty or Spec Ops games or whatever. And yeah, that's not something that I would do. Maybe to a movie, like I think I shared and spoke about the movie Heat with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer. I think Val Kilmer's passed away now, right? Anyway, particularly that final scene where Val Kilmer initiates contact. It's an awesome scene. Like, I haven't seen it for a number of years now, but I can still picture that scene, by and large, a lot of it, and the break contacts that they were doing, moving through traffic in the vehicles, looking to take cover, actually changing magazines, being aware of where their muzzle was pointing and raising it up in the air when they're running back. And then, it turned like there was just, obviously they received some good coaching and training from people with experience to help them with that scene, which I thought was cool to see. So yeah, maybe stuff like that. Was this SST Cup, LOL? Must have been Captain John Price. Now I know is a video game person. Jack Murphy from Team House Podcasts. Yeah, I've seen that guy in his podcast says NZ military gets paid high amount, and US asked the NZ military not to disclose that to US troops when they worked with each other. Really? I never heard of that, Solly. I think that might be like the Captain John Price video game comment. From Team House Podcast says New Zealand military gets paid high amount. I think that would be easily debated. Yeah, he has passed. I'm not sure who that's talking about. Yeah, he has passed like 6 figures for NZSF. Is this for NZSF? This true? Not that I know of, bro. Maybe if they're a sergeant or an officer, they might be getting 6 figures. But yeah, mind you, that's funny, eh? Like, I catch up with some of the guys, like just in conversation or text message, sometimes in person, but it's not a conversation that's ever entered my head. Like, I'm just trying to move this now. It's not something that I ask them and go, bro, what are you getting paid? Maybe that's something that's interesting to people. I suppose I assume it would be easy enough to find out. I mean, I know I could find out from asking my mates that are still there and go, bro, like, what's your salary? But I don't think that it's something that I personally would talk about on here. I can talk about it from a past perspective, like when I was looking to do selection to get into the NZ unit. I think a starting trooper wage at that time, if I had gotten badged, I think a starting trooper wage would have been, I think it might have gone from, I want to say 20-something thousand, maybe 25,000 to maybe 38,000 New Zealand dollars. So probably $2,000 Australian or something. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I think it was something around 38,000, maybe 42. I don't think it would have been any higher than that, a starting trooper wage, which to me, I was like, holy heck, that's like rock star wages back then. I'd like to think that it's increased significantly more since then, but whether or not it has increased to six figures, I don't know, like right now. I think if I find out, maybe ask my mate without giving an exact figure, he and or they could probably confirm ballpark what a starting trooper is on. So yeah, six figures. I don't know about that. Andy McNabb says he helped train the guys for that heat film. Oh wow, cool. Okay, well clearly they had some good instruction, and if that's what Andy McNabb said he did, I'm nobody to challenge that. I've been taught it's rude to ask for what they get paid. Yeah, sorry. I think where was I going with the earlier comment in terms of if it's true? It's not something that comes up in any of my conversations. Like I don't think it's come up. Maybe one time that I can think of was when I was working in private sector, and it was like, daily rates and that sort of stuff. It was like, oh, what's the pay? There was a period of time there where that's really the only time that I can recall like asking, and or apart from when you're applying for a job, right? And then you're finding out, well, you usually know what the salary is going to be when you're applying for a job. So I suppose it's not really asking, but it's not a conversation I've had with my mates at any time. Like, oh, what are you getting paid? I know for time over in Australia, when I got there, blinking heck, starting trooper wage was, let's just say it was more than double that New Zealand figure that I just shared. Like probably, yeah, it was more than double my starting salary as a trooper in the Australian unit. So, and that just blew my mind. I was like, wow, like this is, because I had heard of NZ soldiers leaving. Look at me, still sitting here at the place where I did this walk and talk. I'd heard of, there was a whole bunch of NZ Defence Force members that left the New Zealand Army that went and joined the Australian Army, I think in and around the time Timor was happening, or maybe after Timor, or maybe around the time when Timor was still going, because people got wind of the salary that Australian soldiers were getting and the tax-free portion of it, when they were deployed away and all that sort of stuff. That never interested, like it never factored into my decision to go to Australia. Like I wanted to do New Zealand, Australia, go over to the UK. Pay never factored into the decision-making process. Right or wrong, dumb or blinking smart, whatever, I don't know, but that just was not anything that factored into my planning or where I saw my career. So yeah, maybe that is something that people talk about. I never came across it. I never encountered it in the unit anyway, not during my time. And or how did I even find out that the starting trooper wage, I think that may have just been part of some brief at some stage as we were nearing the end of cycle at some point in and around, because there would have been postings and all that sort of stuff. And so I would have been looking for my partner, my now wife, to get a compassionate posting to be closer to Auckland, all that sort of thing, get a house in the housing area. So that's when it may have come about, when those sort of conversations are happening. But otherwise, like, I think like with anybody in that job, you're just stoked to be in that job. Like, yeah, that's my take on it anyway. This is true. I've been nosy and used to ask my teachers what they get paid. Well, that explains, probably the line of questioning and the types of questions that you ask, Solly. It's I see no problem with it. It just hasn't been stuff that I've personally thought about or have spoken about with my mates. Pay would have been higher in UKSF, I imagine. Yeah, probably. Again, it's never something that I asked, like the Des Powells of the world or the Colin Stinsons or the Colin McLaughlins that I worked with while working overseas. When I crossed paths with Mal Downs, like it's just, or Happy Days and a whole bunch of other people whose faces I can remember, but I can't quite remember their names. That's terrible, eh? Blinking working with some blinking former 2-2 weapons. Oh, Des Powell, if I didn't say his name already. But, and yeah, bloody remembering their faces, but can't quite remember their names. I think if I went back through my emails, I would see their name and go, there it is. Bloody, that's right. Sorry, bro. But never came up in conversation in terms of what they're getting paid. I think it was more around, actually, I don't even know that we spoke much. I don't recall having any conversations with the lads, even in the private sector, about jobs and tasks that they did or that we did while serving in the unit. Like it's just, we were probably more focused on where we were then at that time, the clients that we needed to look after, where we needed to get back out of, and making sure that we did a good job. So I think that's where our focus was. And, I just trying to think. I can't picture any standout moments where we would be sitting around in the control room, looking at the board, knowing that there's a team out on the ground, manning the radios, calling in, radio checking, giving the spots of where people are, etc., timings. Yeah, I can't picture a time where we'd then sit around and talk about jobs that the lads did, like the Kiwi lads or UK lads or me and my time or anything like that. Maybe there were times and things that came up, but I can't pinpoint any or clearly picture moments where we were sitting in the dining hall or in the control room, like I said, or around the pool table or in the lounge area or in the gym. Yeah, it was more just focused in on the work that we needed to do while we were there. Because although the money was good, there was no guarantee. Like, it's still a high-risk environment, high threat. And when you're looking after television media, they're not looking to go to places that are necessarily friendly. So still a high degree of being on edge, hyperactive or hyper alert, whatever you want to call it, and trying to be as situationally aware as you can, especially when you're outside the compound and on the ground doing work. So what's this? Ben Griffin said initially people thought he had a pug laying private security. Is that how you say it? Pug? Laying private security job with a firm in Iraq, which is why he was refusing to deploy. But quickly they realized that wasn't the case. Oh, high paying. It's a high paying job. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know there were some guys that got out to go chase the money and then went back to their units as well. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, personally, there was a really good opportunity for a lot of people with certain skills and relevant and current experience to get out and make a good amount of money in a short period of time and look to get ahead for their families and that sort of stuff. So I didn't see anything wrong with that. And then when some guys that had done that, gone, this is great, awesome, done that now, we're solid, we're ahead, whether it's mortgage paid or whatever, I want to go back to the job. Like I said, I did miss the work, like the actual work in the unit. The private security work was great, being with great guys, but it's different, and it just wasn't the same type of work, if that makes sense. It's a different environment, got different assets, you're going out on different mission sets, etc. And you got some other resources too, which you don't have in the private, at least in the private space where we were, unless you're bloody Blackwater or Triple Canopy, and you got those big US government contracts, and you've got all the other toys that they were probably used to having in the military. When I was working for a really highly reputable UK-based company, Pilgrim Security Group, I never met the founders, but founded by some very highly reputable individuals from a UKSF background. You learn to make do with what you have, but you know that you've got just super skilled guys, or you're lucky enough. I was lucky enough to work with highly skilled guys, highly capable men in that space. So can't help but learn a few tricks from them. And if you got paid well in the process, it was a bonus, shareholders in a meeting, he soon left them. This was 05 for Ben. Yeah, 05. Okay, yeah, I think in terms of thinking back to the reactions that I've done, yeah, probably, there's even beyond 05. Like 05 was a busy time, private security sector space and that sort of stuff, and the amount of work and money to be made as well. And it still carried on like that for a number of years. So, what is it? Making hay while the sun's shining or whatever. There's a number of people that did their dash, whether conventional military and or from an SF background, that were going hammer and tong for several years and making good money and, just, I guess, solidifying their, not nest egg, but solidifying their place so that they'd have resources to fall back onto and not have to worry about debt as such in terms of mortgage and that sort of thing. So I think that's good. Good on them. Anyway, I'm going to bloody head home now because I've been sitting here long enough. The windows are definitely foggy and misty. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Look at that. Been yapping away. Look at this. So I'll give the windows a wipe before I start making my way out, and I'll head back home. and get to editing on the video. Thankfully, I don't need to edit anything on the live. It's just turn this on, point and shoot. You down for a HR Zoom call with Dean Stott, SBS? Dean Stott, HR Zoom.